Good morning, everybody. In the early part of the 1800s, American whaling ships, went all over the world. And it was on this date in 1820, November 20, that the whaling ship Essex was attacked and sunk by a giant whale, which was some of the inspiration for Moby Dick. This is probably what the Essex looked like. We don't have a photograph of it, but this is based on contemporary observations and descriptions and drawings. So Nantucket Island off the coast of Massachusetts was the whaling center of the United States during the early 1800s. On any given day, the harbor would be full of whaling ships coming or going, so the Essex left from Nantucket and it headed to the Pacific. So this map shows the places whaling ships would go. They went all over the world, way up into the Arctic, way down to the Antarctic. They'd be gone for years at a time, partly because the profits could be pretty big from whale oil. So on August 12, 1819, the Essex left with 21 men. And most of the men were from Nantucket, but others were from Boston and other parts of New England, and even the world. And many of the whalers headed toward Hawaii at the top of the map here. So as they navigated these big expanses of the Pacific, they had known staging areas. And they also were able to navigate these big distances because they learned how to do it through what we would consider pretty simple navigational tools, but these guys were really good at that, and it's really amazing they could do it. Now the Southeast Pacific was a little bit unknown, and here you can see South America, and to the left of it is where the Essex was, and it didn't have those staging areas like in the other parts of the Pacific. So on this day, November 20 in 1820, the Essex was rammed by a whale, and one theory is that work that was being done on the ship, pounding and things like that, the whale heard it and got aggravated and came after it. So after the whale attacked, it was clear the ship was going to sink. It didn't sink right away. It took a couple days to sink, so the crew used those days to get 3 smaller boats ready, filled with food and supplies and rigging and other things they think they might need. They had with them this book, The Practical Navigator. This book was issued to all the ships that went on the high seas. It gave descriptions of land, forms, and so on. So according to this map, you can see where they were sunk right on the equator, and just south of where it happened was French Polynesia, what we call it today. But they didn't stop there because the rumor was that those islands had cannibals. They did stop at Henderson Island, you can see that there, but they didn't tarry, although 3 guys did stay there. So they headed toward South America. They had with them hardtack and other things to eat, but it was clear pretty soon that they were going to run out of water. And eventually men died and other men lived by eating parts of the bodies of those who had died. So the few survivors who were picked up by some other ships made it to Chile. Here's Valparaiso. And a rescue mission went back to Henderson Island from Valparaiso and found the 3 men still alive. So that's pretty dramatic. Now here's Melville's first book. He went to sea when he was around 20, and it was while he was at sea and among seamen that he got wind of stories of the whale attacking his ship. And this became the seed for Moby Dick, which was published in 1851, so 31 years after the event. And it's a description of how a whaling ship works. And it's also the story of Ahab going after the whale. Now, if you ever get to Nantucket, off the coast of Mass, you can take a ferry there from New Bedford, which was another big whaling city. The museum is really cool, just fun to be in. But for a gripping account of this event, read In the Heart of the Sea by Nathaniel Philbrook. What a Tale on the High Seas, 1820.